Alright, y'all. It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24 a day. Coming back from our final break of the evening. Remember, you guys should follow and subscribe to KBR Sports on Rabble TV, Spreaker, iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. That way, you'll be notified whenever we are streaming live, whenever past podcasts get posted to our pages. And also, make sure you guys always can call in at 571-991-0566 to join in on our topics of discussion. And always, also, you guys tweet us at KBR_sports. Tweet us topics that you want to talk about, that you're interested in, so we can go over them sometimes during our debates, and we can read your comments and tweets live during the show. But to end out the show, we're going to talk about Super Mariota and Mr. Jameis Winston. So, guys, Nigel, you tell me. You didn't like Super Mariota?
Go ahead.
What's wrong with Super Mariota?
Go ahead.
You ain't feeling that?
Brendan, so between Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, who would you take right now?
Can you give me some perspective?
Sure. Okay, all right. So we'll go from the season. This season, Marcus Mariota's completing 64% of his passes. He has 2 yards under 3,000, 25 touchdowns to 8 picks, only 1 fumble, passer rating of 101.9. Mr. Winston, 11 games played, 61% of his passes, 2,900 yards on the dot, 22 touchdowns, 11 picks, 3 fumbles, passer rating of 89.7.
Jameis Winston.
Why is that?
Because Jameis Winston to me is the more talented quarterback. Jameis Winston to me is the better leader of the two quarterbacks. He's the guy that I would want as the leader of my locker room. I feel as though he is very, not to say that being demonstrative makes you the better leader, but he's also a very vocal leader, and I feel like he's the guy that, the reason why Tampa Bay started off so rough and have been winning games as of late, have gone on a little stream of wins as of late, is because of Jameis Winston. As opposed to, but I feel as though he's been the reason, the pulling force for his team performing. Even though his numbers may not jump off the board at you, I do still feel as though Jameis still has a way higher ceiling than Marcus. So I would take Jameis just because I believe that he will end up being the better player. Because even with arguably a lesser offensive line than Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston still makes do with what he has. You know what I'm saying? So, and Marcus Mariota has one of the best rushing attacks. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And to your point there, under pressure, Marcus has been under pressure less than, well, they've been pressured. He's been pressured more, Jameis has, but he's taking less sacks due to the fact he can get out of the way and he's able to evade defenders. And under the pressure, he's much better quarterback than Marcus has been. Yep. So go ahead. Continue.
So even with those stats you provided, I feel as though I will most definitely take over Marcus, just because the ceiling is, I can just see how high his ceiling can go, and just noting the fact that he hasn't had his best rusher in Doug Martin consistently available to him the way Marcus has had DeMarco Murray and a two-headed running attack of him and Derrick Henry and of sorts. So I would definitely have to go with James. How about you?
I like efficiency. I like neatness. So I'm going to go Marcus. And I do think Jameis has the potential to be better. I do think his arm is a little bit better than, not a lot of it, but quite a bit better than Mariota's. But I just like efficiency. I love efficiency, and Marcus is just he's the more efficient guy. And Jameis has some footwork issues. He still has some accuracy issues, and those probably. And I do trust Jameis to kink those out and eventually argue top 3, top 5 quarterback in the league. But at the moment, I'm gonna stick with the force that I know is and will be great as well. And he's already shown that I don't think the efficiency is going to go anywhere. I don't think he's going to drop. He's only going to get better at it. So I'm just going to stick with Marcus.
Best thing for me is like Jameis has been doing this regardless of what he's had around him. I feel like Marcus's success to a degree is correlated to the running game he has around him. So, and to me, efficiency, like I know the two sports aren't exactly the same, but to me, if Kevin Durant shoots a lesser efficiency than another guy, is that guy a better scorer than Kevin Durant? No.
If they're putting the same volume up, yeah.
If DeAndre Jordan
putting the same volume.
No, but all right. I'm gonna take a quick call real quick before we continue. Hey, what's going on, bro? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show 24 hour a day, man. What's going on?
How dare you?
How dare me or how dare him?
Nigel's in the right here. How dare you?
How dare me? What did I do?
I was a casual listener, and that disrespect came across my eardrums. You're really out here after my man, Super Marcus Mariota.
See, I knew I wasn't the only one that said it.
What was that, Nigel?
No, go ahead, Rudy. Go ahead and spit facts, man. Try and convert this man to the right way.
I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
You right.
He's drinking the Jameis Winston Kool-Aid right now.
Absolutely right.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a Jameis Winston fan. Like the guy, really good guy. But there's some things, there's some discrepancies that don't ever get spoken about when in comparison to these two. Jameis had a good year last year.
He did.
He also got to play last year. Marcus Mariota had literally the worst offensive line in football last year. So the stat about him being the worst under pressure than Jameis, I think is really fair, because when you have a paper bag out there trying to block the defensive ends, you wouldn't do well either. Two, as far as he has, more potential and stuff like that, I'm not seeing where he has so much more potential. Marcus Mariota is the better athlete. He has just as much arm strength. He has less talent in his wide receiving corps than
I agree with that point.
Than Jameis Winston does, and he's putting up better stats with worse players, and arguably not even a passer's offense, because he has an offensive coordinator we pulled straight from the Techno Bowl game who only likes to run the ball. Okay. So you have an offensive coordinator that wants to run the ball 50 times a game with wide receiver absolute names. Who's Rashard Matthews, Brendan? Let me know.
A wide receiver.
Yeah, well, before you go on, I will say this. James has thrown 30 more times, and he says play the game less. So he's going to throw probably about 60 more throws while having more picks and less touchdowns
and less yards.
Yeah, and less yards than
and he had Mike Evans, a great wide receiver. When Vincent Jackson is healthy, he's a pretty good wide receiver himself. And he has a couple little ancillary pieces, like the wide receiver from Clemson, I think Humphreys, I believe his name is, who's one of his favorite targets. When you watch them play, he targets him over the middle and whatnot quite a bit throughout the game. When they had Austin Seferian Jenkins, that was another dangerous player they had. I heard you say, Doug Martin hasn't been healthy, but Charles Sims is actually the better option when throwing the ball. He has better hands and can make things happen. So he's had more talent on offense than Marcus Mariota has. Marcus Mariota has Rashard Matthews, Kendall Slip and Fall Right, Tajay Sharp, a draft pick from Massachusetts, and then the one reliable target would be Delaney Walker. So I understand saying Jameis does have great arm talent. The leadership portion. You can look at any interview on any site for the Tennessee Titans, and every single person that CNN coaching staff will tell you Marcus is undoubtedly the leader. Just because he's not yelling about it doesn't mean he's any less of a leader. So I call that point in the question as well.
Well, if you ask any person on the Packers, they're going to tell you Aaron Rodgers is the leader, and we've seen how his leadership has been questioned as more people have gone out of that locker room. Let me interject here. So, would you tell me that? I think Jameis undoubtedly has a better arm than Marcus.
I agree with that. I do think he has a better arm talent than Marcus does.
Yeah, he's better arm talent. Jameis is an underrated athlete. Marcus does have better scrambling ability, but Jameis is an underrated athlete, just like Ben Roethlisberger is an underrated athlete. Mm-hmm. I would say they're similar in athleticism.
No.
Yes, he is. He's similar to Big Ben in athleticism.
Oh, Big Ben. I think
we're not
talking about Big Ben, though. We're talking about
I'm comparing him. I'm
comparing him to Big Ben. Is he comparable to Big Ben or comparable to Marcus?
Big Ben.
I'm saying Jameis Winston is comparable to Big Ben in his athleticism. And
I thought that's disrespectful to Jameis.
That's not disrespectful to Jameis. Big Ben is an underrated athlete.
What's your point about Big Ben, though?
I'm comparing his athleticism to Big Ben. Big Ben, it has worked out for Big Ben's used his athleticism to his advantage.
Nobody's saying he's not an athlete or anything.
No, but I'm saying you're acting like the gap is
he's a better athlete. He's a better athlete than Jameis is.
But I'm saying he's a better scrambler than Jameis is. And you're talking about overall athlete. Jameis's arm is better than him, just as well as Marcus's scrambling ability is better than him. And if you want to talk about weapons, I think having one of the best. If you want to talk about last year, you can talk about last year, but we're talking about this season and future seasons. This season, Marcus has a better offensive line than Jameis Winston. He has a better running game than Jameis Winston. You have one receiver that Mike Evans. Yes, that's a great receiver, but if you have a great running game to supple that it takes a lot of pressure off of a quarterback. So I'm not gonna act like I'm not just gonna take this because you have a great wide receiver to throw to. Doesn't act like people aren't gonna cover that wide receiver and pay more attention to that wide receiver. We're just gonna force the ball to go to other guys. So. I mean, essentially, when you boil it down, you might not be able to name everybody in the Titans wide receiving core, but it's not like the running game is weak enough. It's so weak that it's irrelevant because the minute that the running game became of relevance, the Titans started playing at a way higher level.
Yeah. I'm not calling the running game irrelevant. The running game definitely has something to do with the success, but also the lack of firepower at the wide receiver position has to be noted when talking about the stats of this guy. He's literally been the number 1 or number 2 most efficient quarterback in the league when he gets to throw the ball. He's also in an offense that doesn't let him throw the ball as much as it should. And then another thing as far as the talent portion goes, Jameis Winston has better arm talent. Yes, he's also supposed to be the pro-style quarterback. He turns the ball over more than Marcus Mariota does. Marcus Mariota wasn't supposed to be able to transition to pro-style offense. Here we are, his first year in real pro-style offense with running backs, and he is outperforming the guy while throwing less passes.
And Jameis Winston also does take more chances with the throws he throws, with the passes that he throws. Just like you say, with a more talented receiver, you're going to try and force balls to that receiver more often, which results in more interceptions. Jameis Winston does.
Yeah, that doesn't make you better.
No, but I'm saying no, but okay. So with Tony Romo, hold on. Let me interject real quick. So Tony Romo is more efficient than Big Ben. Who's a better quarterback?
That's an actual debate. I don't know.
Yeah,
so you got that's not no debate. Nobody's ragged on Big Ben the same way they rag on Tony Romo.
No,
obviously, no.
That's an absolute question.
No, but if you're not ragging on one guy, the other guy's been more successful. Obviously, one guy's more successful.
So you're saying right now you cannot make an argument for Tony Romo being better than Ben Roethlisberger?
I will take Big Ben over Tony Romo.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you an argument for it.
You can make an argument. I told you the other day.
A logical
Chris
argument.
Paul was not better than DeRon Williams.
A logical argument.
You can make an argument that
DeRon
Williams
for that 1 year.
Chris Paul was better. But Chris Paul was better.
I could absolutely make an argument for 1 year that he was absolutely on. You could argue he was better than Darren.
Big Ben's a better quarterback than him.
My question was, could you argue that Tony Romo, a logical, truthful argument?
I said you can argue anybody's better than anybody.
I'm saying a logical,
definitively,
truthful.
One guy is better.
All right, Brandon.
So you're saying definitively with no argument?
Yeah, there's no way possible Tony Romo can be better than Ben Roethlisberger. It's not possible.
Obviously, it hasn't shown up in the wins. Right. I mean, Big Ben's been better. His team's been better. So,
yes, his team, Brandon. We're not talking about his team. We're talking about those two directly.
If you want to take that and that glass and say that one guy has more weapons than one guy, Big Ben has more weapons than most guys. He has more weapons than Matt Ryan. So that means Matt Ryan's a better quarterback than Big Ben. If you put Matt Ryan on the Pittsburgh Steelers, are they going to win more games all of a sudden? So I'm saying, like, you want to make the argument, the weapons argument. I can use that for a whole rack of guys. I can use the efficiency argument for a whole rack of guys. Kirk Cousins is more efficient than Aaron Rodgers. Is Kirk Cousins better than Aaron Rodgers? He has more weapons than Aaron Rodgers. So is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
A better season than him, yes.
But that's not my question. Is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
He's having a better season. Yes, right now, this season, he is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Last season, was Steph Curry better than LeBron James?
Or the regular season,
was he a better player?
He was better than regular season than LeBron James.
Is he a better player?
Yes, he was. He won MVP.
And I just said he has more upside. That's why I'll take Jameis Winston.
Nobody disagree with you on that point.
No, but I'm saying
he was better.
Sorry, what did you say?
Me or Nigel?
You.
What? Oh,
well, as far as the Kirk Cousins Aaron Rodgers thing, I mean, this year, yes, he is playing better.
He really isn't better, though.
He has been better this year.
No, go look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers.
I've been campaigning for Aaron Rodgers. What do you mean?
Sorry, what did you say, Rudy?
I didn't say he is better. He's just inherently better than Aaron Rodgers is, but his decision-making this year and the way he's been playing has been better than Aaron Rodgers. But if we're being fair, like, a third of the league has been better than Aaron Rodgers.
All right, hold on.
There's really nobody. Aaron Rodgers' deficiencies have been over-exaggerated. Aaron Rodgers has been literally a top 5 quarterback this season. Okay. His deficiencies have been over-exaggerated.
Pause 1 second.
The team has not performed at a high level. Go ahead, Rudy. I mean,
but here's the thing about what you're saying. Marcus Mariota's been a top 2 quarterback since week 5, and that has nothing. That holds no water.
No, he hasn't
He
been.
had 3 separate weeks where he's been better than Tom Brady in efficiency on the field. But that holds no water because Jameis Winston has arm talent, but forces balls in the windows that shouldn't.
Their passer rating, better completion percentage, same amount of interceptions. Aaron Rodgers has 5 more touchdowns.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And one guy has less weapons, and one guy has less weapons. So if you just want to go off of a completion percentage or whatever,
and QB, I said QB rating. That's the first thing I said.
And that's my thing though. If one guy's throwing more touchdowns, obviously he's scoring at a higher rate than the other guy. He has less weapons. So I'm like, you can manipulate the argument however you want.
No, but he's beating him in one stat.
It would help my argument what you just said. Marcus has less weapons and has more touchdowns and less turnovers
throw more
and less attempts and more rushing yards.
And he has more yards than Aaron Rodgers. It's literally the only thing Aaron Rodgers beats him in is touchdowns.
And I'm saying because he has more. That's what I'm saying. He has more talent around him. If Aaron Rodgers had the same talent, can you definitively say that he would not be doing the same thing?
But that's not what
Aaron
you said.
Aaron Rodgers.
You said who is better right now, and we said this season. Kirk Cousins has been better.
I'm saying just because he's having a better season, does that mean he's the better quarterback? Is he the better quarterback?
You can argue it right now. Yes, he is. That was the whole point.
Is he the better quarterback?
Yes, Brendan. Right now,
so you take Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers.
Right now, yes, he is better than Aaron Rodgers.
I'm alluding to future stake as well. You take Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers.
Brendan, I do have to say it multiple times. Yes. Goodness gracious!
I'm done here.
He's playing better. He's playing better than I don't understand what your point is.
No, but just because you're playing better, so you would take Stephen Curry over LeBron James for the future just because of that one season. Exactly. That's my point. It doesn't work both. You can't use it one way and use it the other way. Just because one guy has a better season, there are multiple seasons that somebody's had a better season than one guy, and then the other guy was a better player. You can't just take it one way and then not take it the other way. That's not how it works.
All right, so how about we do this? How about we shelve this argument for like 2 more years? When Marcus Mariota didn't play half of his first year because he had a horrible offensive line. Now the tables are turned. Jameis Winston has a horrible offensive line. You're seeing some of the same struggles out of him. You saw the Marcus Mariota.
His offensive line wasn't even great last year. That's my point. His
it was better than Marcus Mariota. That's what I'm trying to communicate. It was way better than Marcus Mariota. Literally had the worst offensive line in football.
No.
There's no getting worse than it. Literally, by default, Jameis Winston had the 31st best offensive line. It was still better than Mariota's. So what I'm trying to say is, one year one had a bad line, the other year another had a bad line. They're both winning games. They're both putting up impressive stats. They're both great young quarterbacks. Give it a couple more years to let things flesh out. Let one get some more weapons. Let one get a better offensive line, and it will literally separate itself. Because it in itself, as an argument, is a silly argument to be judging people 2 years in their career, especially when sophomore year is supposed to be the worst year of your career. So, to be fair, I have no opinion on who's going to be better. I just don't want it to be dismissed as though Jameis is just head and shoulders better than Marcus Mariota when I don't feel that's the case.
No, but I never said he was head and shoulders. I just said I would rather take Jameis because I think he's a more talented quarterback than Marcus. Just like many people years ago, while Tom Brady was putting up better numbers than Aaron Rodgers, people would say Aaron Rodgers was going to take Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady because Aaron Rodgers could make more throws than Tom Brady. He had the better arm. He had better scrambling ability than Tom Brady. And Tom Brady not like Tom Brady's regressed and has all of a sudden forfeited his position as the best quarterback in the league. But because you see one guy is more talented, people are more lenient to lean towards that guy. But yo, Rudy, I get what
you're saying.
I went far over time, so I gotta let you go, bro. But I appreciate you calling in, bro. Hopefully we can talk about this on another show.
Yeah, we definitely will. I'm gonna talk to you when we're not on the show. But,
all right, bro.
Y'all have a good rest of the show.
All right, Rudy.
Yeah, all right, Nigel.
All right, y'all. That's gonna wrap it up for today's show. It's been KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. Make sure you guys always can tune into our show by going in on Spreaker, iTunes, Rabble TV, SoundCloud. Did I say iTunes?
No.
And iTunes. And make sure you guys follow and subscribe on there so you guys will always be notified whenever we're streaming live and whenever past podcasts are posted. Also, you guys can always call into discussion just like Rudy did at 571-991-0566. You guys can also comment on our Rabblecast and our Spreaker live during the show so we can read your comments live, just like my man Clipperell did. And he said, hey, we in here. He already knows what it was. Sorry. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we appreciate everybody who tuned in and provided their own feedback on the show. Make sure you guys tune in, share it with your friends so you can get more viewers on and get everybody hip to the KBR Sports Wave. All right, y'all have a great night.
Have a great night, everybody.